Hello, today I'm going to show you what I am calling Molarity Stoich. The only difference between Molarity Stoich and the stoichiometry that you've already learned is that this time we are given an amount of reactant in concentration instead of grams. So let's assume that we have the following example problem. Given 200 milliliters of a 2.5 molar solution of hydrochloric acid, how much hydrogen gas is produced? Do you remember this from the 6th unit, I think it was, when we did solutions? Remember that the words of A mean that these two things go together. So I have 200 milliliters of a 2.5 molar solution. This is where I am going to use my molarity triangle from Unit 6, and I can calculate moles. Instead of going from grams to moles, how we've been doing, I will use concentration and amount to get to moles this way. So I would say I have 200 milliliters of a 2.5 molar solution. So 2.5 m, that's my concentration, times, and remember, I need my amount to be in liters, so I'm going to take 200 and I'm going to divide it by 1,000, or I can just move the decimal back 3 spaces, and I should get 0.2 liters. And when I multiply those two things together, I get 0.5 moles of hydrochloric acid. If I'm continuing on with the bookkeeping method that I've been showing you, then I would just write 0.5 moles up above hydrochloric acid. At this point, it becomes exactly like it was in previous examples. So if the question is asking me how much hydrogen gas is produced, I can tell you that now, both in moles and in grams. The first thing that I would do is look to see that I have 2 moles of hydrochloric acid for every 1 mole of hydrogen gas. Remember, if there's not a number in front of it, then that means it's 1. So according to my molar ratio, I have half as much hydrogen gas as I do hydrochloric acid. So rather than write it this time, hopefully you can just follow along with me, I'm just going to take 0.5 moles and cut it in half. So that becomes 0.25 moles. Now this question doesn't specify what units it wants the answer in. It could be moles on your test, and so you would just stop right there. But most often they want you to take your answer and go from moles to grams, which is a lot more useful because you can't actually measure a mole in the lab. So to do that, I would just take, and remember we can go up, over, and down, only this time we didn't go up, so we just went over. Now to go down to grams of hydrogen gas, I would take 0.25 moles of hydrogen, and I would multiply that times the molar mass of hydrogen. Hydrogen is an easy one, so if you look that up on the periodic table, you get 1.008. We have 2 of them. Just to make it easy, I'm going to say 1 times 2, which is 2. So I'm going to say I've got 2 grams of H2 in 1 mole of H2. My units cancel out, so I'm going to take 0.25 times 2, and I get 0.5 grams of hydrogen. And that's my answer. Pretty easy, yes?